Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Excuse me. I hope we are well. I hope we're having a good weekend, whatever it is that it actually is that you're up to. I hope you are having a good weekend. Obviously, quite a bit, I guess, is kind of happened in the last 24 hours. Ironically, me not being around, and being busy. It kind of backfired a little bit, but that's what the problem is of having a life, eh? In this video, though, we are talking Giovani Lo Celso. We are talking Tanguy Ndombele. We're talking a little bit Emerson Royal, as well as Alessandro Buongirono. So, plenty of good stuff in this video. But yeah, I hope we are all well. We're looking after ourselves, and yeah, we're looking forward to a good video. Because Ollie's been at it. Apologies. I will start the video in a second. I will just answer some of these chats first. I love Eze, don't get me wrong. He's exciting, young, going to be a superstar, but it would be argued it doesn't really suit a particular position for us as he likes to float and would possibly just end up playing a 10, for which we bought Madison last summer, which the whole fan base is thrilled about. It's yeah, I think with Eze is just it's a floater. It's fine to say, but Eze is good in multiple different positions. Elise would be also lovely to have, but I think Elise in Chelsea is one that's going to get done, to be honest, because it just, even from last summer, it just kind of seems that that's going to be the route. Van Gogh knows it's not good just to have a good starting 11. You need 25 players. Morning, Teddy. How are you, mate? Morning, Joshua. Big up, Andy. Big up to you, Joshua, more importantly. So glad Ndombele is off the wages now. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Morning, Van Gogh. How are you, mate? Morning, Marshall. Good to see you. I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm good. I had a lovely day yesterday at the rugby, and yeah, woke up this morning nice and early still, hit the gym. So, I'm having a good day. Morning, Hogan, mate. How are we? Morning, son. Morning, Iqbal. Depth, baby. And we're not talking about squats. We're talking about squads. Anyway, right. Let's jump in. I want to talk some Giovani Lo Celso. I don't know about you guys. You probably don't, but I'm going to. So, came from Sky Sports and Lyle Thomas, who said that Real Betis want to sign Giovani Lo Celso this summer, shown more concrete interest so far, about to enter the final year at Tottenham and started just 4 Premier League games last season. He did go on to also say he's open to staying. And I thought about it in a few different avenues. And you've got the avenue of, well, he wants to have ultimate freedom next summer if he was to leave on a free. You've got the avenue of, I don't know if he truly sees any team around at the moment that sort of tickles his fancy, because maybe he wants a Barca move, but he wouldn't be able to get a Barca move. And also there's a new manager there. Will the new manager want him? But it could be a situation where Spurs maybe have overpriced him a little bit and the market isn't responding the way they maybe would want, potentially, So I'm interested. Do you think Delhi will make a football comeback? Maybe even Spurs comeback. It won't be a Spurs comeback, but yeah, football comeback, I see it. Which rugby match did you watch? I saw Northampton 1 versus Bath. That was the game that I was at, Joshua. It was an absolute belter of a game. Pretty good. That's not for me. Morning, train in the park in the sun. Perfect. That does sound bloody lovely, Callum. Make sure you stay hydrated, though, yeah? Morning. Good to hear that you enjoy the rugby. Morning, Sonia. How are you, more importantly? And yes, I did enjoy the rugby. It was lovely. Good time with all friends and family. And yeah, it was a sellout. Good weather. And yeah, Northampton won. Neck day say, absolutely not. It was shoulders. Hansi Flick sounds and looks like a bomb villain. It's because he maybe is. So yeah, I mean, that's the situation on Gio. I still expect him to move, to be honest. Spurs aren't going to want to let a guy who does have some value to go for free. So I think he will be sold. I mean, Betis, yeah, maybe don't have the money for it, but you can always find a way to get around that. You can always find a way to, sort of streamline a deal into ways that you want it to work and, ways that you want it to sort of structure that suits both teams. So, I mean, it's not like Spurs need the money this summer, So, you get a little bit now, get a little bit more in a year, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it is one of those things, but I think it'll be the time that Gio does finally move on. I just think it's the year left. Last year maybe didn't work out the way all wanted it to. It's one of those things, I've always thought he's been decent when he's come on. Ross, mate, I really like Gio. I really like Gio. I think he is a fantastic sort of, as I like to call, composer of football, where he can control pace, he can control tempo. It's just the niggling injuries, the small little injuries here and there. It's just a pain, you know. It seems we're getting close to Tony Dilbert's age. I don't want to come here and talk about buying a new striker for a while. Well, he's 28. We will need to buy a striker for at least a few years. So, excuse me. Lo Celso could take a pay cut to move from Spurs. He probably would need to, if I'm honest, James, unless he's going to a Villa or a Saudi, you know, but he's not going to go to Saudi, and it doesn't look like Villa's on the table at the moment as much as we all thought. We might not end up selling the player we want at the end of the window unless we start realizing. Yeah, look, we still, you know, we still have a long time in this window. We are what, June 9th, so we've still got a long time in this window. Plenty of time. We'll get something sorted. All right. Which Spurs player would be best at rugby? I think the comment right underneath in the name of Dragujin would be perfect. Gio is good, but his injury record didn't really work out. Yeah, it's just, and it's what was annoying is that, you know, we missed Maddison for a couple of months. You know, we've had all these injuries, and Gio would get a chance, and like you think of City away, and you're thinking, oh, he's so good, but then he'll miss a couple of games, and I'm like, oh, pain in the backside. So there is that. Still like watching the Celso go with City, I believe it was. Yeah, that was the away game, the finish. Morning, Dean. How are you, mate? Tough one on Bath yesterday. I still remember your comments saying that Bath would win. They were fantastic. I'm talking about Ndombele just next. Sorry. Morning, Tony, as well. Or bonjour, Tony. I don't think we should keep Lo Celso long term. I don't think he's a bad player, but like you said, he gets injured too often. We need people on the field as much as possible. Yeah, we just need availability is the best form, you know. Morning account fund, and yeah, just throwing out the mates again. This window we need to get rid of. Excuse me. This window we need to get rid of all the deadwood. I'm done. That every window is about selling deadwood players. Yeah, we just need a big clear out, a big old clear, which I think we'll get. Can't we start buying players? We can. Do you speak French? Absolutely not. I'm just tired of Lo Celso. Every time he's mentioned transfers, I want to go to sleep. Well, don't go to sleep listening because I'm about to move on. Even from cold Melbourne, in a coma, mate. How cold is it? It's because it's pretty nice where I am right now. It's always nice for once to have, you know, England being better weather than Australia. Morning, Anthony, mate. How are you? In the Premier League, except Son and Foden, I really believe Anthony Gordon and Bernardo Silva are the best. In what regard? Having made a video on bidding 40 million for Tony, I know Sonny's going to retire soon. The front three of Eze, Tony, and a good right wing would cook. Are you leaving Sonny out of your front threes, Joshua? That's bold. If we're going for a big clear out, we need at least like a 215 transfer budget. Well, we'll see, but there will be a good budget for sure. At Hotspur right now, in a room with Daniel, myself in the corner, repeating mate at Tanguy until he rips his contract up. I think you might have done your job. What is your favourite game that Lo Celso has started in? I mean, City would be a good one. City this season, I mean. I thought he was fantastic in that game. I'd actually, no, do you know what? City away, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely incredible. I thought he was the best midfielder on the pitch, actually, as well. I'm Madsy, I'm coming to Emerson. Don't worry. At being top quality, great open play wingers. Well, you could put Cole Palmer in there. He was pretty good in the wing. 8 degrees. We're at the start of winter. Woo! Yeah, certainly not 8 degrees. More like 18 degrees, I reckon, here. Which in England feels like 28 in Australia. Trust me, I know. Especially in Melbourne. Bournemouth. CDC, mate. Good morning. But what do you mean by Bournemouth? Oh, the game. Bournemouth game. Yeah. Okay. How much do we pay for Emerson? It was about 26 million. When he played, he was good, but it was when he played. Yeah, exactly. For me, it was his first goal against Red Star Belgrade. Yeah, I'll take that as a shout. Right, we're moving on to Tanguy. Come on, then. Let's do this. So, deep breath, everyone. So, Foot Mercato put out, I think it was last night, and obviously, not going to be doing a video last night. And they said that Tottenham and Tanguy Ndombele have agreed on an amicable termination of a contract that should be effective in the coming days. He will become a free agent. Now, I think a lot of people have taken this as, oh, look, we're going to save that 200 grand a week now. Easy. Great. Yeah, it doesn't really work exactly like that. Spurs will have to pay off a huge chunk of that deal. And if you're talking 200 grand a week, it's 800 grand a month. It's 9.6 million over a year, right? So Spurs are going to have to pay out a big chunk of that. So that's why I was always saying to people, when people go, oh, look at all these players that we can, move on from. We can move on from this team, this team, this team, and this team. And I always said, okay, but he won't be sold. We're not going to make money on him due to that contract. So, it was one of those things. I was reticent about Tony at first, but now I'm starting to think we could use someone like him on the pitch, not just for the goals, but the personality. If Ange gets the right energy from this, could be a redemption arc. Potentially, Tony. It's not a bad shout. In Ndombele, Celso, and Session and Clark, 3 left on freeze, 1 probably for 15, 20 million. Well, Clark, we have a sell-on clause for as well. So don't worry, we will make money on Clark. But yeah, I do get what you mean. It was a horrific window. I remember myself how great Maddison is. I was watching his Leicester highlights. I was blown away. Just watched some Spurs highlights from the first half of the season. He was pretty good. Best drink for the rugby versus best for the football, best for the cricket. Well, Guinness, neck oil, and Pimm's probably. Davies might offer Tanguy a pay when you play deal at Birmingham. He's not going to earn him much then. I don't think Tony is a bad player. I think it's unlikely we'll buy him. It will come down to whether his mentality is right. The issue is I'm not sure he is good at pressing. He's probably better than you think, but then we don't see it at Brentford because they sit back a bit more. How much do we reckon we can get for Ndombele and who we're going to scam? We are not getting anything for him. We're giving him to go, We definitely want Emerson and Spence gone sooner rather than later to make up for the compensation paid for Ndombele leaving. Potentially. For me, if we had 120 million pounds plus Højbjerg, Spence, and Lo Celso says, then we should have around 160 million. Silver spell, we should have more. We should have more than that. Tony, Edison, Eze, it's a good 3, but we still need more than that. Hey, mate, from Bris Vegas. What and Bob. Chaotic Nuggets. Where the hell is Bris Vegas? Unless you mean Brisbane. How on earth did Ndombele make it to elite level of football? Even with his talent being that lazy, you shouldn't get more than League One football. He was incredible. The talent-wise in Ndombele, I tell you what, if he had the energy levels of like an Oliver Skip, that's a world-class midfielder. That is an absolute world-class midfielder. It's a shame what's happened because I was so excited for him, but, these things unfortunately do happen in football. Are you going to watch the cricket today? Potentially. I don't think I've got too much plans. I'll probably just chill today. So, yeah, potentially CDC. Is there a striker you'd want more than Tony? I'm not fully convinced on him. Yeah, Pender. Boom. With the outgoings, 250 would be really good. Yeah, it would be. I mean, it's nice having that money, but what are you going to do with it is the key thing. I'd rather you spend 150 and get it all right than spend 250 and get wrong things. So, yeah, I think you know what? It's one of those that, yeah, we're going to take a loss on in Ndombele, but it's one that we can kind of just write off, move on from, and get on with it, Chill, it's not glute day today. No, I've already been. It was shoulders. I said Jimenez was good. Never mind. I saw him against Lazio. That dude has Richie strength, Timo shooting skills, and strength of Hoda from Game of Thrones. Get his goals on the plate. That why. Spurs must have dropped their interest. No, I think Spurs have 8 to 10 players on a strikers list. I wouldn't be surprised if we're still there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's still one of the hotter ones. Pause. I'm seeing we're in for Vanderson. Looks like he'd be good to bring on a cheap. Ito would be good too, in my opinion. And the marquee, yeah, Vanderson is. I talked about Vanderson. Talked about it yesterday. He is a player of interest, which is fair to say. And Ndombele was under Mourinho was fantastic. Yeah, just again with him, flashes, but not enough. Refreshing Twitter aggressively tonight, but nothing exciting. CDC, it's not a ton. There's not a ton. I've got a few bits, but there's not a ton. So don't worry too much. Openda would be a winger in Ange's system, I believe. Yeah, but then it's like you have that ability to mix and match and change things around. So paying in Ndombele, does that come out of our transfer budget? Yeah, potentially. you got to think of it more as an FFP situation. It will count against your FFP that you've had to spend. I mean, look, if it's 9.6 million for the year for that 200 grand a week, let's say you've paid him off 8 million. I mean, it's 8 million. You've not got anything from it. You've got something leaving from it, you know? I mean, it's Richie's speed. I mean, no, I got you, man. I got you, mate, Marshall. Starting to get Werner again that Chiesa might be for sale. No, I don't think Werner would stop. A Werner loan wouldn't stop Chiesa. Who else plays cricket than UK and India? Not a big sport here in Scandinavia, I can tell you that. Massive in Australia, New Zealand, Scotland play it. Holland, Ireland, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, hell, South Africa. I mean, you know what I mean? There's loads. It's a shame about Ndombele's class. He's just lazy, just a waste of talent. It is such a shame. It is such a shame because I think we could all sit here and say, if you were playing like a five-a-side, he would just fry everyone, you know? Thoughts on Sesko? Star in the making. Stephen, star in the making. Is Gyökeres worth it? I'd rather other players over Gyökeres just because of cost. If he was a similar sort of amount as to what we're looking at that 50, 60 million mark, potentially not anyone better. Pender is a baller, can play both sides out wide too. Just as good. He's short, but we have Richie as backup to score if we need to score a header in the game. Yeah, no, don't mind that. Do not mind that. Have you heard Leeds United will be RB Leeds United from now on? Well, I know Red Bull invested into them, but I don't think it will change them all that much. Some sponsorships and things like that, but, you know, Leeds United will still be Leeds United. Cricket is a bigger sport than NFL, NHL, and NBA. Correct. Right. So there's that on Ndombele. In terms of Emerson, let's talk about Emerson. I've got a couple of different bits on Emerson. So first one is reports from Italy that said AC Milan are hoping to quickly complete a deal for Emerson Royal. Milan are hoping to pay 18 million euros, while Spurs are asking for 25, which, give us a second, I will have a euros to pounds converter. So when they're looking at 18 million, they're looking at 18 million euros, they're looking at about 15 million pounds. When we're looking at 25, it's 21 million pounds. So we're looking at about 6 million difference. I reckon, lads, let's just meet in the middle. 21 million euros for about 17.8 million pounds. Just do that. Just do that. Don't worry about it. I know it's not the middle, but just, yeah. And then the Mail Sport have said that AC Milan are also maintaining talks over a deal for Emerson Royal. They were short of Spurs' 21 million pound valuation. So 21 million sounds about what we want. It's bold. I can't lie, it's bold. I know why they're doing it, but it's bold. I think this is a deal that will get done. I'm not worried as too much about this. Morning, Chris. Morning, nice to have you. Sean says deal is advanced. How about that news? I'm not seeing anything to say Eze's deal is advanced. Oh, Andy, I've seen Villa have to sell funds of 60 million for FFP. Yeah, they do. They might need to potentially sell. Hence why, like, you know, if they're interested in like a Conor Gallagher, it will be from July 1st onwards, which is the next year of FFP. What happened to the Jota links, and would you still take it? No, he's a flop in Saudi. I'm not interested in him. I know it's harsh, but, you know, if you can't do it in Saudi, then how the hell are you going to help a team try and, you know, win trophies in the Premier League? Yeah, I'm not interested. Also, they bought him for 25 million. He's on about 150 grand a week. Like, if people are complaining about Werner, they would go mental over Jota. Tell the Swede who has 6 ODI World Cups. Well, you know, yeah. Would Gyökeres be homegrown as he was Brighton when he was younger? Good question, Dean. I don't actually know. Gyökeres has just had a planned post-season surgery on his knee. Should be back in August, though. He's basically never injured during his season. Yeah. Iron Man. He played injuries. He played with a lot of injuries this season. He's an absolute Iron Man. I think they'll get it done in installments. Yeah, I think not Werner, sorry. I think Emerson the deal will get done. It'll be one of those that's spread out like over 5 years. So it's not going to make, you know, if it's, let's say it's 20 million over 5 years, it's 4 million a year. It's not really anything mental when it comes to, you know, the fact that AC Milan have Champions League football and things like that. Jimenez, Gyökeres, Tony, who is your choice? Well, Jordan to cost. If you look at it like this, right, Gyökeres is, potentially nearly double the price of a Jimenez or a Tony. If you were to get a Jimenez or Tony, it would allow you to go and get another midfielder. It allows you to go and get a right back and left back. You see what I mean? Like, that's the issue. We're not ready. We're not in that position right now to go and spend 80, 90 million on a player when we have so many other needs. Like I've always said, you might need a backup keeper. You might need left back. Well, you need your left back. You need a right back. You need left centre back. You need a couple of midfielders. You need another winger, another striker. And that's just with you not selling some of the other first teamers who I think in a year's time will go, and then you'll have to replace them as well. The fact that if you think of City spent years of building up with 30 and 40 million pound deals. Then they started going for the big boys. You think of Arsenal with Rice. They went and got Rice when they went, well, we kind of got the rest of the starting 11 sorted. We just now need that position. He's that guy. Let's just put him, plug and place. So we're still a couple of years off. Annie, I know you've already said this, but if we had a good enough wingers, then Richie could have 20 goals and assists a season. Even though I'd rather, well, with Richie for me, and this is going to be fair, I like Richie. He has to stay fit though. That's the issue now I have with Richarlison. He just doesn't stay fit enough. So people would kind of kick and scream over Giovani Lo Celso. Well, people need to start having that conversation with Richarlison. You got to think. He missed time at the end of the season. He missed over a month with that operation. He misses the odd game or two because he picks up knocks because he is a physical player. He does actually have to stay fit. And the reason why he wouldn't be Spurs' out and out number 9 is because he just can't stay fit for long enough, Thoughts on Basuma? I really like him. I do really like him, but I would really like to see him in the 8 role from time to time because we've seen, we've seen Basuma and Sarr swap mid-game when we want to press a bit higher and tackle higher, because Basuma is better at that. So that's why I think I'd like to see him a bit more as an 8 from time to time. Def backup keeper to be safe. Well, I think they'll see what we've got in Austin and Whiteman in the summer. Definitely Austin, because obviously he signed a long-term deal. We'll see what he's got in the summer, and then we'll go from there. Worst possible rumoured Spurs signing. Andres Pereira, maybe? Richie Son, 27 goals. Could have been more. If we're spending huge on Gyökeres, might as well go for Isaac. Well, Isaac's going to cost 150 because they're not going to want to sell. So basically have 2 weeks to sign Gallagher before Aston Villa is a serious contender for him because they're FFP. Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3. Thoughts on Onana as a player, Everton for us? Oh yeah, Zay, I definitely know you weren't talking about the keeper Onana. I like him. I've always said I like the physical attributes that he has. He's a bigger player. He's a physical player. He covers the ground well. People kind of go, yeah, but technically he's not great. You can develop that technical side very, very quickly when you're forced to, if you know what I mean. Everton, they obviously not on the ball as much as they would, a Spurs. So, yeah, I like it. And Everton, potentially need to sell. We'll have to see what happens with, their FFP situation. You think you got Forest have FFP situation, Everton, Chelsea, Villa. I don't think Man United do, but Man United are cash strapped, which feels mad to say that Man United are cash strapped. That shouldn't ever happen at Man United. I'm just trying to think of anyone else that maybe is as. I don't think there's anyone else as FFP issues. Leicester, I think, might be penalised this season. We know, obviously, in the Championship there are a few teams as well. Onana would be far. Onana would be sick. All right, let's do a poll. A couple of people said that. Let's do it. Let's answer in that poll what you think about Onana. I'm keen to see what you guys think. Evening, Lex, mate. How are you? I think Basuma and Bentancur come good as our number 6s next season, but maybe we can go loan Ugarte from PSG. He wants to leave. They want him gone. PSG have the money. Well, look, if PSG want to do us a favor on that deal, fine. But I'm not blown away by Ugarte just because of, if people want a here and now ready to go guy as a number 6. We're not too sure what Ugarte will give us in the Premier League. I don't rate Onana that much. Am I deluded? You're not deluded. You have an opinion. There's nothing wrong with it, Van Gogh, mate. Here, late. What do you think on Santiago? Marcelo? Do you mean on Jimenez? Yeah, Leicester apparently getting huge point deduction. Apparently, Josh, am I thinking that is because of their last season that they had in the Premier League? Tell me if I'm wrong. If the window finished, Tony, Edwards, Werner, Eze, Gallagher, Ito, Vanderson, what would you rate it? Madzi, give me the outgoings as well, because that's nice, but I need outgoings. I need a good chunk of outgoings. But if we're going just on that, I can go no higher than a 7 because I need my outgoings. Okay. I don't think Onana is good enough for Ange. Well, Chris, I think he can develop. Why aren't the other kits releasing officially? Spread them out. Keep the interest high. Money. Yeah, it's reported. They didn't report correct financial information or something. You know, it's one of those, Josh, where they kind of go, we know we're going to get screwed. So let's just try and buy ourselves enough time that we can get around it. Who is the priority outgoing? Probably Emerson right now. Or Spence, maybe. No, Emerson or Spence. One of the right back. Do you know what? It's a right back. I think the negative comments on that pajama kit might cause something. Yeah, potentially. Vitinha from PSG. He's playing regularly. I like Jimenez. I'm not overly sold on Jimenez. I think that's fair to say, Marcelo. So I think, there's so many other strikers on the list that we know we're interested in. It's one of those ones. Emerson Spence, Tanganga, Rodon, Cess, Reguilon, Højbjerg, Skip, Ndombele, Gio, Solomon. Then I gave 7 for incomings, Madzi. I would take. Just trying to think of anyone else that I might want sold. No, I'd probably give that like a 9.5, maybe 9.5, somewhere in there. Zubimendi or Edison? Edison. Be right back. All right, son. From which club did we get Emerson now again? I forget. Oh, Liston. You're making me think too hard. But yeah, it was Barcelona. So there's that. Right, let's have a look at the poll. It says, 60% don't want Onana. Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. I wish I had extra money to get Bakayoko at least on top of our priority signings. It's not about the money on Elise because Elise wants Chelsea. Bakayoko, I don't know what's going on with him, to be honest, at the moment. Just get Gray. Agreed. I want Gray as well. That's all you want, Teddy. You're a simple man to please. Zubimendi, Edison is better than Onana. I want Edison, but fair enough. So yeah, there's that on some summer deals. So let's have a look at anything else. So bear with me. Keep putting your questions in. I just want to check something. Right, I've got something to talk about Eze in a second. Wondering how Gallagher being with England and Chelsea in his sales before June 30th will work out with Tony and Eze also with England. We'd ideally want them in first before helping Chelsea. Do you know what? It's one of those things. I think people kind of go, you can't sign people when they're on international duty. You can. At the end of the day, the agents are there to do a job. And the agents are there trying to get them a move. They'll work on them even if the client was on holiday. So it doesn't really stop anything. Edison, yeah. Where does Archie Gray play? He is a right back, but also plays centre mid as well. So he mixes between the two depending on what Leeds need. I believe Gallagher is the better player in Ange's system because box-to-box midfield, he press a lot and he can believe he can bring something good to our midfielders. Well, it's important, Chris, that we have players that we can rotate without a drop-off in quality. 40 million is enough to make you happy. Plus, Ted, mate, honestly, wow. You're easy to please, but you're an expensive person to please. 102. Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for watching along. It's good to have you all. Obviously, drop a like if you haven't already. It helps with the algorithm, all that jazz. We're finally catching up with the top 3 teams, but it'll take another season before we get there. Yeah, again, we're early on in the process. It was never going to be one season. Right, we're challenging for the title. Not like that. It's not like that. These things do take time. Joshua, Kimmich sort of, yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. Anthony got so many goals in the Eredivisie. There's no chance for Santiago to come over to Spurs. By the way, you mean Everton and Arna? I thought Manchester United. Yeah, no, I meant Everton and Arna. Trust me, not that and Arna. Vicario is miles better than him. Big Vic. I love Big. Do you know what? I love Vicario. And I was so happy to stand by Vicario after that Brentford away game, first game of the season, when everyone was going, he's rubbish. Why did we buy him? I was proved so right, and I was so happy about it because he is a baller. I'm warming up Tony, especially if Ange wants him, but 35 minutes is one left on his deal. Well, it depends because Brentford seem to be wanting about double that, Madsy, mate. If Eze won't come, can I have Michael Elise? Well, I don't control these things, Lex. No, Elise's probably off to Chelsea. Gray right back, Darcy from Luton left back. It's not bad, Dragon. It's not bad, mate. That is not bad. Jimenez, Eze, Gallagher, Edison, and Gray. Ito would be my go, but can change Jimenez. It's not bad. It's not bad. That's not a bad list, Van Gogh. Yes, Andy. Yes, MBR, mate. How are you? You all right? Did you see Son doing fate Rabonas and whatnot for South Korea? Need him doing that for us. Son is just vibing out. Son at international duty is just vibes, and I love it. Forget the title. Klopp's Liverpool did 7 years to get there. Exactly. These things just take some time. You know, it just takes some time. I believe Akara is the only keeper that hasn't made a mistake leading to goals since 05 or 06. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love Akara. Yeah, he made no mistakes this season as a keeper in terms of like leading to goals, which is incredible. Wait for someone to go, did you see him at crosses? Did you see him at corners? I love mocking people. They get all wound up about that stuff, by the way. And if you are one of those people, I love mocking you, evidently. I'm a big fan of Jimenez, but those players from that league, it's not always to do better in the Premier League. I think Tony can be that guy. Oh, yeah, to be fair, everyone kind of has that PTSD over Vincent Janssen. So I can't, like, even if I was a massive Jimenez fan or a massive negative fan of Jimenez, I will have to sit there and kind of go, you can't really say much about that kind of situation, you know? Saliba said in an interview as an aura in games like Van Dijk. Yeah, talk about being brain dead. Who do you think is our best corner taker? Probably Porro. Obviously, Maddison's good, but I just see Porro doing them a lot more than Maddison. I don't want Edwards, but you never know how things turn out. He's played a couple of years with Porro, maybe Porro Edwards. We're balling on the right wing for Sporting, still can do better. Well, it's one of those things that, you know, that you can cash in on. You know, the fact he knows Spurs, he knows the Premier League, he knows, like, you know, our rivalries and things like that. He's cheap, academy trained, homegrown. So there's a lot of like ticks in the potential deal. I'm just not sure, like you, it's the right deal. I want to cash in on your Crez. To be fair, I don't care at this point. Well, are you giving Daniel Levy that 90 million, Van Gogh? You know, remember when Levy did that share issue and drew down 100 million? There should be another 50 million we can draw down from that. Yeah, I literally don't know where that other 50 million is. No idea. Vic is not a level. Vic was cheap. He's not insane, but was really good with a lot of potential. I think he's insane. I absolutely love Vicario. I think, you know, when you look at keepers in the Premier League this season, obviously you've got Allison when he played was still fantastic. Obviously Martinez down at Villa, really good. Vicario, really good. I think they're the top three. And Ndombele finally gone. Potentially Jessica, yeah. We should know in the next few days. There are no good strike options, literally, Yorkerez or no one. Well, take that and tell that to a Pender, all right? Van Gogh. Alfie Dirty can cover multiple couple of positions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can. And that's why I quite like Alfie Doherty. It's just Doughty, not Doherty. Price on that one is what I'm intrigued by, but he's better than Raya. Well, Raya, you know, was looked after by an immense four and Rice in front of him. I don't rate him. We saw against us. He just loved making mistakes, and Vicario is better. Vicario was second player of the season for me behind Romero. Love the Italian. Yeah, I'd probably agree. I probably would agree. Don't get right. Raya won that award. I think that was just more about clean sheets. Vic is elite man. What are you talking about? Lol. Oh, yeah, I love Vic. Love him. Forget about Openda. Still, he is more of a winger. Stop forgetting about my boy. Stop forgetting about him. Hi, how much roughly would it cost Levy to get Eze, Garassi, João Gomez, Van Sant, and Chalobah? Oh, crikey. Hang on. Give me a quick second to do this maths. At least 200. Cheap as well for a left back. I'm just worried about costs on that one, Lex, to be honest. Just intrigued by it. Ramsdale's crap as well. He's the reason why England lost the other night. Can't save it as near post. With regard to Vicario, Ange said he thought keepers were off limits and was surprised that it was different. From there, it started to change. They changed something and the team got better at it. Yeah, Vic, I love Vic. We've got a keeper there for, a guy that cost, was it 17 million or whatever it was? He's worth 4 times that now. Absolutely thrilled. I mean, think about this, right? So if I said 4 times that, it's about 68 million. Think of Kepa, and he went for 70. So maybe he's actually worth 5 times that. Vlahovic, Tony, or Solanke? I'd probably say Solanke or Tony for me. Just Vlahovic, I've watched him, and I just don't see ability to link up at all. I just really don't. As a finisher, as a poacher, yeah, great. But no, give me one of the two that have done it in the Premier League. And also, I think Vlahovic is going to cost way more than both those guys. I didn't say forget about Openda, mate. I said forgot about. No, that's what I'm saying. I said don't forget about my boy. I know what we meant, Van Gogh. Yeah, but don't forget about him because he's my boy. Doughty reminds me of left-sided Trippier because he's 24, 25 and playing for a relegation team. If he costs the same as Trips, Trips cost about 6 million. So I'm not sure it'll cost that. Rice is a 6, right? Well, 6 to 8, yeah. Boys, trust club are making the right decision on transfers. Yeah, well, this is the thing, right, where that transfers that I'm keen to talk about as well a little bit. Is obviously we've got a new man kind of running our windows in Johan Lang. I'm keen to see what he does with this whole data system that we're working with. I expect there probably is a couple of guys that we have no idea about that, like Timo Werner, it just hits and you go, oh, crikey, we're signing this guy. Power, panic stations just because you have to, talk about a guy that you hadn't actually meant to talk about or didn't think you were going to talk about, Isaac got Osimhen, Isaac. Would Vlahovic come to Spurs? No reason for him. Well, no, I think he's happy at Juve, and I think Motta wants him to stay as well. Well, it seems we're wanting both Tony and Jimenez. We're wanting 8 to 10 strikers. There's a massive long list. You talk Tony, Solanke, Jimenez, Garassi, Openda, Gyökeres, Marmoush. We've been linked to Jonathan Davids. I feel like there's more. But I can't remember. But there you go. There's 8 on that list. Isaac would be good but expensive. Yeah, he's not leaving Newcastle. They Newcastle may be losing Guimaraes because of his release clause, and City are quite keen, but Isaac won't be going. Don't forget about Semi Calixoi. Yeah, well, I can never forget about him, Marshall. You talk about him. How old is Doughty? Do you know what? Don't know. Well, someone said he's 24, 25. Let me just quickly check for you all. Alfie. He is 24. He'll be 25 in December. A week to go before it really starts. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for all of this. Also, it's almost a guarantee that any former Spurs player will say Dembele is the most technically gifted. Trips, Dele, Kane, Walker, Dyer said it. Ali said it. So many people have said it. Moussa Dembele is incredible, by the way. I've always said, when you think of like a 5-a-side team, if you don't put Moussa Dembele in there, you don't know what 5-a-side is. It was things that, I would always watch someone press him and I'm like, well, this is a waste of time for them. Don't press him. Let him shoot. He doesn't score very often. And Nesri, the striker. True. Did a great job in a Besiktas side. Big. Yeah, 100. Yeah, 123 was a record. Yeah. Just want to say thank you all that are watching along. Very much appreciated. Share all this stuff with your friends. Obviously, we do 2 of these a day. Normally, not always, obviously. So he's 24 and a half. Oh, all right, Dragon. Be like that. I bought Jimenez on FM and he is cooking. He has 5 or 6 goals in 3 games. That's a small sample size, Van Gogh. Tell me after what he's done after 10 games. All right. And if he has the same sort of conversion rate, then we might need to have a conversation. Right. I want to talk about Eze because I saw this just about 20 minutes ago, and it's from Alistair Gold. He said that Spurs really like Eze, and they have done for a few years. If there's a summer to try and bring him across London, then this feels like the one. However, Tottenham do not appear to have formally made their move yet. I think with a lot of transfers, you obviously spend time speaking to agents, you spend time speaking to their sort of team and what have you. And it's about, gauging interest. Does he want to come here? Does he want to be here? If he does, all right, then we need to start speaking to Palace because, we've sorted a deal out. There's a motorbike outside, so apologies if you can hear it. They obviously want to find out from everyone else, do they have a deal there, And for me, it's being smart. But yeah, we've missed out. And yes, people have sort of said, look, we could have had Eze years ago and things like that. But it doesn't mean he turns out the same player. Now, obviously, yes, it's going to cost a fortune. You're talking 60 to 70 million within that realm. It's a lot of money. But he's proven, and he will be an absolute stud in the Ange system. I really, truly believe that, by the way, that I think he would be fantastic in Ange system. And people think, Spurs won't spend that money. Look at Ndombele. Look at Richarlison. If it's proven, I can tell you this for a fact. They are way more likely to spend that money if he's proven. They know what they're going to get with him, Crazy been linked to Eze in 2019. That's what I'm saying. Been linked for years. Eze's price won't increase. His release clause is 60 million with 8 million potentially added on. What Arsenal player would you take? Has to be Saka, Rice, or Odegaard for me. Rice. Aston Villa is facing FFP problems. They're probably out of the race for Gallagher. Well, no, they're only facing FFP problems to July 1st. Then the new year starts. And obviously they can factor in Champions League football into that. I watched Eredivisie and Jimenez is a good striker, but I have no idea if he'll do the same in the Prem. Well, there's always a risk you take with all players. He could still be sitting on the bench waiting for a few minutes if he had come to Spurs back then, and we'd be calling him Deadwood. Exactly. That's the thing that people need to remember. Just because we've been linked to that player does not mean that player's trajectory is on the same way that we have had him at Spurs. Maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower, So always hold on to that. If we compare to players who came from Eredivisie to the Prem, it's a big gamble. It's a massive gamble. Absolutely massive gamble. How much do you think Eze would be worth without the release clause? More than what it is. 68 million is what the total amount is. 80. Well, Grealish went for 100. So at least 80. I only believe in Prem proven and Bundesliga proven. Whoa, what about Serie A? Spurs have done all right from Serie A, have they not? So there is that on Eze. Right. I just want to see. I did have something on Buongirono, but I actually have lost it. So give me a second. I'll see if I can find it. I can. Straight off the bat. Honestly. Straight off the bat. So it came from Fabrizio Romano, hence why you think I can find it straight off the bat. Just this last little bit. So it said Napoli are progressing in talks to agree on personal terms with Alessandro Buongiorno as the new centre-back. Conte wants him. No club-to-club talks with Torino yet, but Napoli are already planning for that. So look, Napoli got some money to spend. I hope, let him have Buongiorno, get him sorted, and then come get Pierre Højbjerg. So I've missed some stuff. Ndombele could have been our own Eze, but if he wasn't too lazy, he was very good in some of our games. Energy levels just weren't there, though. Ibra played when the Eredivisie had world-class talent. It's not to say that there isn't good players that come out of the Eredivisie. I'm just saying I think a lot of us have said from what the Premier League and Spurs have had, it's not been good recently. Who do you think will make offers for Gray? Liverpool. It screams West Ham because he'd be an upgrade on Kufau at right back. Maybe Villa if they were to move off of Jacob Ramsey. Maybe Newcastle. Yeah, be a lot of teams. Isn't he heading to Napoli? I just said that, Dane. But yeah, you're right. Bergvall is a baller, Buongirono to you too. Come stay. Yeah, exactly. English, I don't know. Giroud is the highest scorer in Serie A. Serie's full off. Just look at Juve players now. Yeah, Marshall. I'm not saying the Serie A is this most incredible league, but I would say did the English Premier League have any European winners this year? Did we have anyone in the finals this year? We talk about Eze, we talk about Edison, we talk about, Coop Miners, we talk about Vlahovic, we talk about Chiesa, talk about Lookman. There's players in that league that are really solid. If you look at our defense, keeper, Serie A, left back, Serie A, two centre backs, Serie A, right winger, Serie A, central midfielder, Serie A. So we've got a lot of great players from this area. Evening, Peter. How are you, mate? You're right. Palace for great. Palace, yeah, you could see him at Palace, and he would thrive there. Since Prem began, which former Spurs player would you like to be on our team now? Well, I don't look at it as like I need the world's best player, right? I don't need our best player. I want a guy that can fit into what we need. I mean, Harry Kane would be bloody nice. You could have Gareth Bale on the right wing potentially. But I probably would go with this is their prime version. I would probably go with maybe a central midfielder and give me a Ballon d'Or winning central midfielder as well, and Luka Modric. We got Udogi, Vicario, and Bentancur from Serie A. Exactly. Who would you keep, loan, sell, or sell out of Parrott, Scarlett, Valise, Lancashire, Donnelly, Devine? See what Parrott has in pre-season. If he doesn't, sell. I'd probably keep Scarlett for the third string striker, loan Valise, Lancashire, keep Donnelly, and loan Devine. I'm just saying that most of the players come from Eredivisie struggle in the big leagues. I think they struggle a lot in the Premier League, but they do well in some other leagues where it's a little bit less intense and there's a lot less people sort of intensely watching. Dembele in my midfield would cook right now. Bale and Kane would be great too. Modric would be great too. But you can only pick one, Madsy. That's the rules. I can only pick one. What is your viewer record? It's 129. You can see it right now. Thank you all that are watching. Drop a like if you haven't. Obviously, share it with your friends and subscribe if you haven't already. Manchester United are chasing Eze now. Have we missed the boat? No, we haven't. It's all good. You have a point. Maybe there's a barrier. Shift in Serie A. Some have risen. Some have died. Bologna, Talenza. Yeah, do you know what? A lot of times is your coach. It's the attitude of your players. Bologna this year with Motta, who is an inexperienced coach, which is, I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm just saying inexperienced. Look at how their team's shown up. Look at Xerxes. Look at Calafiore, Premier Spanish, Italian, German, and French. Distant with the French one, but the top four, yeah. Distant. Did Chris J show you the Eze news he mentioned earlier? No. If he meant the Alistair Goal report, I just talked about it. League One sucks. Well, have you seen this? League One can't get a television deal. No one wants to give them money to broadcast their football. And that was with Mbappe there, by the way. So Mbappe being gone, no one wants to know about it. It's not. I don't think it's voted the top 5 league. I don't think it's voted the top 5 league. I think Belgium is a top 5 league now. Yeah, I think League One is like 8th. Like, it's just not that kind of league anymore. I mean, and you think Messi's gone, you think Neymar's gone. And don't get me wrong, I think PSG will end up probably being better for those two leaving. Maybe not Neymar, because obviously he was very good, but Messi didn't really do it at PSG. Quite lazy in times. We got in Dembele from League One, case closed. Brutal. I thought McDonald's was going to be a sponsor. I don't know what their league's even called. This is what I mean. My knowledge of League One in terms of the league, I don't know. The only thing I know about is the fact they haven't got a broadcast deal for next season. So maybe I'll stream it on here. You 125 people can watch the League One football. I tell you what, I think more of you would tune in to watch me than League One. How about that? Yeah, League One Mackie D's. Yeah. You've just got Donnarumma in goal pounding a Big Mac while saving a penalty. You know? So you've got you've got Leon turning up to PSG going, any chance I can get McFlurry? And they go, machine's broken, you can't have it. Sorry. Also in G, yeah. Man United don't have the same pool of players anymore. The stadium and training facilities are falling apart. Well, do you know what? You can get a really good free shower at Old Trafford because it leaks. Edison Lookman would be great. Yeah. Lookman's value, though, would have like quadrupled because of that final, which I don't blame them, you know. PSG ruined that league. Do you know what they should have done? Do it the way Bayern did it. Build the other teams up around you. Get the league to develop. And look, the Bundesliga, look how they did this season. Look at Leverkusen. You know, you got Stuttgart who finished second. Bayern finished third. You have Dortmund who were fifth, I think. You know, Leipzig were fourth. You know, it's about if you can build the other teams around you. It's what La Liga have struggled with. La Liga have just gone really top heavy with their top three, and they've just kind of screwed the rest of the league over. The only fact Girona have got in there is because they had Man City's help. Without Man City, they're nobodies. And that's just a fact. The Bundesliga did it the right way. Bundesliga have gone, look, we've got Bayern, we've got our spearhead juggernaut, but we've got some really great teams. I mean, Dortmund were in the Champions League final. You know, Leipzig, obviously, I know that came from Red Bull, but, you know, they built themselves up. Stuttgart. Now, you've had Frankfurt that have had European success in the last couple of years. You know, you've had Borussia Mönchengladbach, Werder Bremen, Wolfsburg. They've all been pretty good in the last sort of decade. So that's how you do it. That's how you do it. The Premier League right now, you think, you know, you got your City, Arsenal, Liverpool as your top three. You got your City, you got your Villas, your Spurses, your Chelsea's, Man United's, and Newcastle's. And then beneath that, you got teams like Wolves and Brighton and Crystal Palace. Like, you know, that's what they've done. They try and make the Premier League so massive. The League One have done it opposite, and they've just gone PSG, and that's it. They're praying that someone's going to go, here's some money, and they go, oh, thank you. You know, so yeah. Explains in Ndombele case that Mackie D's deal doesn't. Jesus. Once Ndombele heard Liga McDonald's, he quickly cancelled his Spurs contract. Brutal. Liga needs serious investment now. France is a wealthy country and still this is happening bonkers. Well, taxes and things like that are bonkers for those players. But yeah, they need to get other teams in that league built up. I know Chelsea owns Strasbourg in Ligue 1, but again, that's going to take time. But you know, Lyon have been a good team for a while, but never seem to just kick on. You know, you've had Monaco in there, you've had Lille. You know, they've not done a good enough job of building up all the teams. They've just kind of gone, there's this great team, and they've already won the league by February. Hence, then they don't care about performances in February time. And well, that's when the knockouts of the Champions League are getting juicy, and they get knocked out every year. Other than that one time, they went to the final. How much is Osman again? 100 plus? 100 plus, I'd say. It's bad for a competition if you have all the same teams winning or at the top all the time. And that's the thing, like when PSG don't win that league, that's an embarrassment for PSG. That's an embarrassment. It's like every team, right? It's like a boxing match. Every team has both their legs tied together and they have one arm behind their back and they've just got one hand. And if they beat you, that's embarrassing. And that's what happens, you know. You need teams going up and down. Yeah, they do. Just for comparing to Isaac. Isaac will be worth more because of the fact that Newcastle within the league don't want to sell within the league. And even competition usually means great games. Exactly. And like, don't get wrong, like PSG might turn up to a Lyon and it's a cracking game, but Lyon can't get that level of performance the whole season. That's the issue. Marseille, the sleeping giants. Well, if Marseille can become a giant, that's maybe what exactly Ligue 1 needs. What exactly is Ligue 1 authorizing body doing right now? Begging someone to give them a good enough deal to broadcast the TV rights. But that's the thing, if they can get, if they had what even La Liga has, where you had PSG's like the big guy. Let's say that's the Real Madrid, but then your Atletico and Barca's are your like Marseilles and Lyons. That's so much better than where we're at right now. And then from there, you can kind of then sprinkle in the odd Strasbourg or Lille or Monaco, whatever, and you can build up 4 or 5 solid teams. I mean, even looking Portugal. Portugal have got a more competitive league now. This season, obviously, Lisbon were fantastic, but you've got Lisbon, Benfica, Porto, even Braga. You can throw in there. Uh, One French team has won the UCL, Marseille. That's less than Portugal, Netherlands, and is the same as Scotland, Romania, and Serbia. That's what I mean. Shouldn't happen for such an amazing footballing country. That shouldn't happen. Why don't we go for the cheap Yorkeres last summer? Poor scouting. I think if we're done that, listen, you get a lot of fans complaining that where's your ambition? You're signing a championship striker. You can't win, unfortunately, mate. You just can't win in that regard. Newcastle could sell Isaac for, say, 70-75 and buy Tony 40-45. They are going to sell Isaac, if they had to, for at least double that, Jessica, at least. And they wouldn't sell him. They're more likely to sell Guimaraes than they would be Isaac. Forest is one too. Well, Forest were, creme de la creme at that time. Madsy, did you see Brighton getting a 31-year-old manager? Yes, I did. The sent Pauli or Pauli, I'm not sure how to say it. Apologies if I got it wrong. From the Bundesliga too. It's a thing that Brighton would do. I mean, like I said, I got a friend who is kind of what I do here, but he does it with other people in a podcast form for Brighton. He hasn't done one yet. I'm waiting to see what they say. If you don't know, they're Seagull Social. Okay, I will put it in the chat. That if you do want to, go have a look at their page and what they do, then obviously you can go and have a look because they got some good little stuff there. Like I said, I like to watch multiple like fan accounts sort of thing, just because I think you learn. Oh, crikey. My iPad's telling me something, but I like to learn off of multiple things. I think you can through that. So I'll put it in there so you can obviously see. Yeah, it won't let me do the link, but yeah, it's there. So I'll put it in the chat. So if you want to have a little look at what they do, it's really good. But yeah, I'm waiting to see what they say about that Brighton manager, because I think it's definitely bonkers. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely bonkers. But if any team was gonna do it, it's Brighton. They work on data. They work on things like that. They don't work on vibes. They don't do that. They're not Emerson Royal doing a compilation of back heels and no look passes. Thoughts on Furyk? Good player. I watched some clips on him. Although one thing I did watch when he was playing for Germany, he looked very, very happy to play sideways and backwards. That was the only thing I did say. It was never really sort of going past players. Maybe that's just a one-off game that I didn't see. But yeah, we are possibly looking at a Nate's defender. Ooh, I don't know who Nate's are. Dean, can you let me know? Is Sesko out of the rumours? Sesko was never really part of the rumours, to be honest. Sesko was more of an Arsenal rumour. Who do you think will win the Euros? Oh, right. So I don't know like the tournament tree in terms of like, group winners of C play this group winner or this runner. I don't really know. Look, I'll always want to say England, obviously being English. You'd be hard pressed not to say anyone other than France when you look at sheer quality of players, and that you look at the players they didn't even take. Yeah, Michael Elise would be playing for England, and he didn't even get called up, not even into the provisionals. So you'd be hard pressed not to say France. I think it would come Spurs if we get him some boxes. Oh, Jesus, Teddy, not these boxes, chat again. They're hideous. You'd put everyone off signing. I'm still confused on who we should really get for number 9. Well, that's the thing, that we want so many different number 9s who have so many different like play styles of a striker. I would say they're doing sorry, I talked about it already, and they're doing internal talks on moves and things like that. You see what I mean? Like it's not something they're going to take. They're trying to get that deal done the way we want it done, but also they want the person that we truly want. We don't want to rush into it, you know. Um, I'm sub to a plethora of Spurs channels with all kinds of different views. I had to unsubscribe to one of them though because of constant Spurs bashing. Yeah, that's not fun to listen to. That's not fun to listen to. And also, like, the one thing I would say is, you know, you should critique. Like, look at Spurs' 2019 transfers. You know, you look back and go, that was not good enough. We didn't do a job properly. But then you can also kind of go, yeah, but they have made some good signings. You know, you're allowed to critique some, you're allowed to praise some, and you're allowed to be in the middle on some. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're constantly just negative about things, you're not going to get people wanting to take part. I mean, you think of all the people that are in here, you know, and think of all the people that are putting in comments. You know, there's things that they don't like about Spurs. Absolutely. You don't love there's even people about Man City. They don't love everything about Man City. There's Real Madrid fans that don't love everything about Real Madrid. But if you're always negative, then you bring people down and they just go, look, I don't want to listen to you. You're never just happy. So that's why you always get with me, you get more of a positive tone, which I think you can all take a degree with that. You get a bit of fun on these live streams. I'm a little bit more me. There's a bit more a chat. But I will also, you know, I will critique things that I believe things need to be critiqued, you know? Nonce from France spelled it wrong. Bastien Mayupu. I did see that report. I wasn't too sure about it, to be honest. I'm not too sure. I have to see Dean the next couple of days, see if anything comes out of that Bastien Mayupu report. Or would you choose the boxes as number 9? I think all defenders would hide themselves from these boxes. I want to hide myself from them. They're overpowered. No, I want to hide myself from them. You can complain about FA, but can't deny what they've done to keep it at least a bit competitive, to imply FFP rules. Fight Dictator owned at Man City. They're doing it way better than La Liga and Ligue 1. While La Liga are just praying that Barca and Real Madrid bring in fans. Anafesco. The thing is, the Premier League has an issue, though. Man City have won 6 of the last 7. That's an issue. You know, you think of how amazing Jurgen Klopp was, you know, amount of times he didn't win the league, but had 90 plus points. You know, so as much as, you know, it is competitive, you know, maybe week to week, overall, you kind of just assume that Man City are going to win things, you know. So, and also that Premier League now need to fight Man City in all of their shenanigans. They have to fight them. If Man City get away with it, the Premier League now looks weak, and that is an issue. That is a big issue, because then Chelsea can start doing things, and Newcastle will start doing things, going, what are you going to do about it? You let them off, so you have to let us off. So that's the issue the Premier League has now. They've poked the beast. Now you need to fight the beast. Listen, do you mean we are Tottenham TV? I don't know the page personally. I will be honest, lads. I don't watch other Spurs channels. I like to give you my unadulterated views on things because I just think that's healthy. I don't watch other pages, not because I think they're wrong or anything like that. I just want to give you my off the cuff, in my head views, and I can chat with you. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, and learn from one another. That's the way I look at it, you know. It's why I don't often even collab with people as well, just purely because, you know, I like to kind of build a great community here, which we have got an amazing community here already. You know, nearly 2,500 subscribers. Which subscribe, by the way, if you are new. You know, we've got a great community here. We have some fun. You know, if you don't know about the boxers chat, basically what it is Spurs sell boxers, and they're terrible, and we have a bit of fun about that. You know, we have fun. You know, with each other, good banter, and that's why I really enjoy doing these streams. I mean, I'm an hour in, and I really enjoy them because, you know, you guys make that such, you know. I wouldn't be able to do an hour of me talking at a camera and have nothing the other side. I might go insane. England or Germany might win. Look at Gundogan, Wirtz, Cruz, Rudiger, Müller, Kimmich, Havertz, Goretzka, Leroy with Nagelsmann coaching, Musiala and Füllkrug. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but I was watching in the warm-up games. I wasn't impressed. Too many similar-esque players in that midfield is the one thing I would say about that. Also, Goretzka's not in the squad, by the way, Marshall. He didn't get picked. They're hypocrites supporting City and then looking for ambition. Yeah, I always said about the City thing, I was like, look, support the way you want to support it. Don't let anyone tell you you're wrong or right for supporting the way you do it. But if you celebrate their goals, I don't want to know you. No drama is good. Hell yeah, Lustwell. Oh yeah. Hope you're well, by the way, mate. I think a lot of the Spurs fan channels don't know that we don't know who Ange needs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Do you know what I also kind of get is this dictator-esque ship role that some fan channels, and it's not just Spurs, by the way, but, you know, of all clubs, because I'm a big page, you should follow what I say. There's people, and I'll give you my example as to why I'm very glad to be a bit different in this regard. I'll put it out there that I really like Amadou Onana, all right? I really like him from Everton. I think, you know, I've said before, I like his physical traits. I think he can get better, and he's quite young, so we know he will develop. We did a poll today in this video that 60% of the people that voted didn't want him. You didn't see me sitting there slagging them off, dragging them through the mud, calling them all wrong. I just put it there. And I was like, fine. You know, we're not all going to agree on every single deal. And that's the beauty of this community. We don't always agree, but we learn from one another and we have a good chat and a bit of fun with about it. If it ever got to a point that it wasn't a good chat and it wasn't fun and it's heated, that's a different story. But we're lucky we don't have that in this community, and I love that. I enjoy doing these streams because it's lighthearted and fun, you know. So let's keep it that way. Clinton, you've done well, mate. Keep up the good work. Clinton, how are you? You're right, mate. But thank you very much for the lovely comment. True says Lustful Obama. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Lustful Obama. Not Alabama. Roll Tide. Unfortunately, FFP was brought in to let Man City got 3 to 4 season head start of free spending. For example, Newcastle can't, so Man City now they are the richest club. Yeah, it's about being smart about building your club up to then allow you to do more transfers. You know, but yeah, City did definitely come in at the right time, although they were dodgy in the lead up through that time with, you know, their, you know, transfer dealings. Like sponsorship dealings, like people were getting like 20% raises and they were getting like 1,000%. It was like, okay, well, that's kind of a red flag. That's definitely a red flag. Big club, lots of opinions. It's just big club, lots of opinions, and what I say goes kind of attitude from certain pages. And I won't lie. I watch Mark Goldbridge, right? Biggest fan channel in all of football is the United stand. I watch him because I think he's entertaining. Okay. But what I do really enjoy is he doesn't always say he's right. You know, he thinks, right, so he wants Ten Hag in, right? This is a good example. Ten Hag in, right? He's that's what he is. He doesn't say people that want him out are wrong. He just says, what is your plan for moving him on? Because he hasn't seen anything that's, you know, that fills him with any hope. And that I love. That's say, look, he's like, I don't think you're wrong. I just want you to give me some evidence as to why you want to do that. And I love that. That's for me, I agree with. You know, a few of you go, I don't want this player. And I always go, okay, if you don't want this player, who do you want? You know? Starts World War III. Send me out there. Hating drama makes more money, views, unfortunately. Yeah, you look at it. A lot of these channels, unfortunately, benefit from their own team basically suffering. And I hate that. And it's so funny. Do you know what's so funny? I noticed it on this channel. People unsubscribe from this channel occasionally when we've lost because, you know, they're upset. And they think I'm going to maybe be too positive about that loss. A motorbike going past again. Very loud. Sorry about that. But, you know, like, I would much rather Spurs win and my views be a little bit less than us lose and my views be more. Because I just want a good time with all of you and our club to do well. That's what I care about, is this club doing well. But I'm also realistic that we're not spending £500 million this summer and buying Mbappe and Haaland and De Bruyne, you know? What's the comparison really, though, to City, Madrid and Spurs? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cypher. I got a challenge. Name me 15 players in 10 seconds, or you are nail polish. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Marshall. And most can't give him an idea. And that's the thing. He's like, look, if you can give me an idea and it's a good one, I will probably be on board with it. But he can't see one, hence why he won't be on board with it. And that's what I love that. When Werner came in, all of these channels were hating because this is the thing. They look at the financials of Spurs and they go, look, oh, we make all this money. That means we need to spend 150 million on a player now. No, that just doesn't happen in football, really. We don't spend that kind of money. And like Ange said, if I'm given 100 million spent on one player, I'd rather just spend 50 million on two. And also, let's be honest, a lot of these channels go, shouldn't sign him, he's rubbish, he's this, that, the other. At the end of the day, back the manager. Give the manager what he wants. Because at the end of the day, we haven't done that with managers. And if you give a manager with what he wants, he's more likely to succeed. And if he doesn't, then you know he was not right for you. Had we given Conte Bastoni, for example, and Conte, that previous season finished fourth, next season he finishes fourth, but he wins the FA Cup, you go, he could be the right manager. Let's go again. Let's give him some more players. If you get Ange this season, we progressed into fifth from eighth, but after selling Harry Kane right before the start of the season. Next season, we go fourth and we win the Europa League. We've had a progression. Let's give him some more players. Let's see if we can take that fourth. Let's see if we can go a bit further now. That's where it should be. It shouldn't be, we couldn't sign that player because we just didn't want to spend an extra couple of million. You know what I mean? But I'm also not saying, look, we've already spent 200 million. We can't just keep going. There is a limit as well. Marshall, make it or you buy the boxes. I will not. No, I can't. I watch a lot of channels. I like this one. Chill vibe and enjoy the polls, viewership, engagement. Thanks, Dean, mate. I really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we've hit a personal best. There's 132 of you watching, which thank you. You're watching a guy talk in his home, and it's a bit odd nowadays in this world of social media and things like that. But I do appreciate everyone that is here and everyone that does contribute and chat and vote in polls. Always does make it a good time. I know it's not realistic, but how would you feel about getting Vlahovic? I'm not blown away by him, Corsair, if I'm honest. I have been honest about it. I'm not blown away. He'd also cost quite a big amount of money. And I think you can get more for the money you're spending on him, but I also think you can get more for a little bit cheaper of a player, Hopefully get more gems. I love gems. Lustful. Spyro the Dragonfly is also a great PS1 game. I used to love gems on that. I don't understand how a lot of people can't understand we are not putting any money up front from him, just wages, so we can spend more on players that we really like, maybe Eze or Tony. Well, also, you're not on the hook. It's one season, and you're not on the hook, next season. Now, if you want to be, you pay the 8 million. If he tears up, fine. But if he doesn't, okay, you just don't keep him. You know what I mean? Do you think Ange will be our long-term manager? I hope he will be, Teddy, because I love Ange Ball. I like him as a manager. I like him as a person. I just hope he stays here. He's made Van de Ven worth like 100 mil. I'm sure he'll find some unknown players from some J League get gems. Hey, I think Van de Ven is worth probably more than 100 now. Age, contract, player ability, plays left back, Still, can you name 15 Spurs players in under 10 seconds? Marshall, before I do it, are we talking right now or in history and now? Okay, let me know. Fans have the right to not want Werner. He has been below average for Spurs so far. And that's the thing, D-Boy. If you don't want Werner, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying he's my favourite player. I'm saying, yeah, we maybe could have done better, but we could have done worse. And the deal, when you actually think about all things considered, is fairly cheap, So, again, if you don't like him, that's fine. But the best thing is I know you'll support him because you're a true fan. Yep, no hook. Exactly. I think squad-wise, Werner is smart signing. We just need two solid attackers coming on top of him. Yeah, if we can get two more attackers, I think that would be really great. Can you do a poll if people like the kits? Yeah, go on then. We'll do that poll. Why not? Let's just do the home kit, though, because I know people shouldn't like the away kit. So put it in the poll. Do you like the home kit? Yes or no? Let me know on that poll coming in right a second. I'll answer a few more questions whilst you do it. You like him because he's an Aussie. I like Aussies. Absolutely. Any Spurs player, if you lose, show us your dog. Well, he's downstairs asleep, mate. I don't want to wake him up from his sleep. Do you know what? I'll get a timer up. So we have an idea. Where's my timer? Right. There's my stopwatch. Okay. So I'll wait so you can see it. My phone's a bit dirty. So I believe, Marshall, this is any Spurs player from the past. I've got 10 seconds. I'll be able to reach to do this. Okay. My ring light might make it a bit blurry, but I will stop it where I can. I'll be looking at it. All right. Right. 3, 2, 1. Vicario, Udogie, Romero, Porro, Basuma, Sarr, Kulusevski, Werner, Son, Richarlison, Parrott, Scarlett, Veliz, Davies, Emerson. I'm pretty sure that was more than 10. You can count for me. No modern players. Well, Marshall, you tell me this now. I just done it. Also improved Romero because it became so much more consistent this season to be his first season. I thought Romero was a magnificent player this season, Dean. I agree. And I think he'll get better again next season. We need to make a AIA logo navy blue or something. It stands out too much. Yeah, I don't like that red. I don't. When will the away in third kits be revealed? Well, I think we've seen the away kit. It's that tea towel looking one. Or if that's not been revealed yet, I don't know. Agreed. I believe Werner can get better. Fans can be quick to write off players. Yeah, exactly. You know, you have the right not to like potentially a signing, but you go, look, if he's Ange's guy, he's Ange's guy. Let me support that. You know, I'll also support him as a player. We've had worse players play for Spurs in the last few years than Timo Werner, you know, and I still support those players when they play for Spurs. The home kit's not bad, but basically the 0506 home shirt recycled. Hey, we started to get much better in 0506, didn't we, Vine? If you're 100% honest, do you think we will get Eze? I will never say I'm 100% until it's a done deal. He's holding up the shirt, but I'm confident we can get Eze. Liverpool want Eze. Yeah, but Liverpool, I mean, if he looked at Liverpool's situation and go, yeah, I'll definitely go there over Spurs. And you got Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, Salah, Nunez, you know. I don't know if that's the right move. Third kit's the green one, right? I believe it is. Couldn't tell you, to be honest. I try not to look at the kits until I actually see them on the people themselves. Eze will come to Spurs, guys. No worries. Yeah, that's it, Van Gogh. Werner will be okay as a third choice. He blocks a very important foreign player spot, just not at the proper level for me, and no real outlook of improving. I think he can improve a bit, Morton. You know, with a bit more time in the Ange system, a pre-season, I think he'll get better for next year. I also like it's a buffer between, you know, not having to spend money on the player, giving Mikey more ability to learn with Werner and Sonny as the players ahead of him and giving him time. I like that, you know. Liverpool need their defensive midfield sorted, everything. They need a striker. Well, if they had their midfield sorted a bit more, maybe some more defensive bodies, I think they'd be better for it. Right, let's have a look at this poll quickly. Home kits. Yes, 67%. Okay. For me, I'm still on the fence about it. I'm not blown away, but maybe once I start to see us playing it, maybe I'll like it a bit more. Apart from Spurs and Bayern, because of Kane, what team do you like? I like Plymouth. I do. I do like Plymouth. I've always liked Atletico for standing up against Real Madrid and Barca. Just trying to think of any other team that I might quite like. I like Dortmund, to be fair. I do like Dortmund. Dortmund and Spurs have a lot more in common than we probably would like. Yeah, I'd probably say that. A little bit better, maybe. And if we get that a little bit better, he's a good enough backup for another year, or a good enough rotational piece for those games that maybe aren't as massive for Sonny than have at rest. Away kit is different, blue stripes, and third kit's the green one. Yeah, got those Aussie vibes in for sure. You said not everyone is happy at City or Madrid compared to Spurs the past 25 years. No. What I meant was at the fans. So like I'm saying about us, you're not always going to be happy with every decision that's made. And that's fine. You're allowed to be. That's what I'm saying. And look, I want Spurs to be better than anyone else, probably, to be honest. I'm desperate for it. But at the same time, I'm also realistic that, you know, Spurs aren't going to outspend every team in the world. Spurs aren't going to do certain things. It's not how it works. We have to live in the realm of, you know, realism. But yeah, no, what I meant, Cypher, look, trust me, if I was a Madrid or a City fan, I'd be thrilled. But also there's things that I'm not happy about. You know, there's City fans that aren't happy about the price increase of tickets. You know, There was Madrid fans booing Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, genuinely, it's just those things, you know? He is loan extension. He's out for a year. No harm of having for an option for a year. Yeah, exactly. Who do you think is the best DM to fit our system? Bentancur, if he can stay fit. Mine is Dortmund, very attacking, passionate fans, yellow wall. Yeah, Dortmund, absolutely. Don't like the away kit. I probably would agree with you, to be honest, mate. If Kane was still at Spurs, where you think we'll be positioned in the table? We'd be top 4, that's for sure. Mikey Moore or Kvara from Napoli for Son's replacement in the future could be a vibe. Could be a vibe, Mr. Clean. Fortunately, we can't have a yellow wall when I see the fans attending. Most of them are senior citizens. Hey, they've been Spurs fans longer than I've even been alive. Those concessions shouldn't have been got rid of for them. Juventus sorting out Motta, so that'll be Calafiori and Koopman is done soon. But yeah, I think that's, I mean, we're in hour 20, so apologies this has gone on so long. It's been a really great show. I think we talked about a lot of really great things. Maybe back later on, depending on what news breaks today. I may not. I may enjoy some sun, you know. You never know. I might come back all tanned. Definitely not going to happen. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the stream, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you all back next time. Take care, everyone.